Alright everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So as promised yesterday, we are getting around to the remaining Shonen Jump stuff for this weekend, along with hopefully another read-through for Battle Angel Alita Mars Chronicle. So just a couple of quick channel update things before we get into this chapter here. So like I mentioned a couple of my other videos, I'm going to be going on vacation next weekend. So this everything's channel's going to be on a little bit of a hiatus until about I think exactly mid-November. So I'll be back again to like weekly video reaction stuff during then. But I do desperately need this break, so I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, before I go on that, I just did want to get caught up on everything in my backlog. So I don't have too much to get caught up on when I get back. But yeah, yesterday I caught up with Akane Banashi and Kaiju number 8. So today I want to get around to Spy Family and then the next chapter of Akane Banashi, as well as the aforementioned Battle Angel Alita read-through. So a lot of good stuff going to be coming your way this weekend. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Without further ado, let's get into it with what I hope is not just going to be filler's chapter. We have a Spy Family Mission 107 by Tetsuya Endo, with translation by Casey Lowe and lettering by Arina Mappa. So I have my tablet with me this time. I should have charged it properly yesterday, but it should hopefully have enough battery to last at least until I finish this, in case there's panels and stuff I want to show off. But yeah. So we see the foragers all at this little like outdoor circus festival, like all these tents and things set up. And you have Anya with like a festival, yay! And you see Lloyd just going, Berlin's annual Winter Sheep Festival. A fine opportunity for Anya to have some fun during her school vacation. Just running off with a woohoo! And he's like, that's my pretext for bringing her here anyway. And she turns back with a gasp. He's like, the lady? Oh, okay, alright, so this could be potentially game. Sorry, give me a second, my dogs are being dinks. Alright, we're good. So he goes, the Lady Patriot Society helped organize the event. Please, for the love of God, please give an arc back again. Endo-san. So the Lady Patriot Society helped organize this event just as they did the charity bazaar for disabled veterans. So there's a significant possibility that Melinda Desmond will make an appearance. While Melinda is not a priority surveillance target, I'd be remiss to pass up a chance to advance Plan C, the Your Melinda Mommy friendship scheme. And Anya's like, oh, I completely forgot that I was at war with Mama in the Battle of the Friendship Schemes. She just like imagines Lloyd being like, with Plan C going so smoothly, I can finally abandon Anya. With a gasp, she's like, poop. I'll just have to make friends with Scion Boy so I can learn all his family secrets first. And you see that Jeeves is accompanying Scion Boy with his 2 flunkies. As a bowl cuts like, look at that, boss man, they got a whole traveling carnival over there. He's like, shit, this festival stuff's for little kids. And you got the other flunky going, look at all the food stands. And Damien's like, it's cold and I'm bored. Let's just go home. And Jeeves is like, I may have failed to mention this, Master Damien, but the Lady Patriot Society is volunteering at the festival. And he's like, what? So my mother's here too? He's just like doing a quick looking back and forth. And he's like, that may well be the case. And Bolcut's like, I don't know, boss man. Seems kind of embarrassed to be seen with your mommy at a place like this. He's like, yeah, true. You know, huh? As the other flunky looks over, and he's like, as they spot Anya and co. He's like, oh, Scion Boy and his henchling. That's a good chapter title for this video. He's like, oh, what the heck are you doing here? It's like, this isn't a place for the peasantry. She's like, oh, shut up, you stupid dummies. And Lloyd's thinking, Plan B's not looking so good. He's like, watch your language, Anya. She's like, oh no, that's right, I need to play up our friendship. And Yor's like, hello, Damien. Hello, Damien's friends. And she's like, here, Scion Boy, you can have that leaf you loaned me. It was a really great leaf. Thanks again. Because friends borrow things from each other. And he's like, I never loaned you a leaf. What are you talking about? Don't have any garbage just picked up off the ground. And he's like, cease your attempts to tarnish Damien with your garbage, scoundrel. It's like, yeah, stop acting like the shabby commoner you are. And the other 2 flunkies are like, young master, our deepest apologies. That was most ungentlemanly. He's like, why, this is an adorable young lady, is she not? And her clothes suit her well. And he's like, thank you, henchlings. And Lloyd's like, hey now. And Lloyd's like, it's we who should be apologizing after how my daughter behaved at orientation. And he's like, so you must be the Forger family I've heard so much about. And he's like, on behalf of our charges, we owe you our debt of gratitude. And he's like, oh, not at all. We should be thanking you. He's like, these men must be in service to the Desmond, Egberg, and Ellman families. It wouldn't hurt to forge a connection with them. Insight on their natures could provide certain opportunities. And Anya's like, and Papa goes straight to work. It's like, I figured with Melinda being involved in the event, her son might be with her, but it doesn't seem as though they came together. Melinda did come personally to pick up Damien after the bus hijacking, but perhaps she entrusts his day-to-day care to his butler. It's important to both plans B and C that I have a firm understanding as to the degree of intimacy shared between members of the Desmond family. Something that, I don't know what that's supposed to be, is cut off with the text bubble. He's like, clack, 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 as the calculation sounds. You hear, Anya, is that you? It's like, Becky! It's like, I can't believe how often we've been running into each other lately. And you see, I was going to say, Becky's mom has got it going on. And she's like, it's because our brain goes totally in sync. It's like, I might put that a little more elegantly, but I do love the sentiment. And her father's like, well, at last we meet, Mr. Forger. My daughter has told me so much about you. He's like, the honor is all mine, Mr. Blackbell. He's like, Byron Blackbell, CEO of Blackbell Heavy Industries. I've yet to see even a hint of anything suspicious in terms of his connection to the Desmond Group. Nor have I seen the movement of money and materials that would indicate an imminent military expansion. That said, it wouldn't hurt to establish a closer relationship. And Anya's like, straight to work. And then Becky's like, want to look around together? He's like, oh, yes. And you see Lloyd's continuing his conversation with Byron, who's like, in fact, I've heard rumors that you're seducing her. Christ, bro. He's like, that's a big misunderstanding. It's like, as grateful as I am for the opportunity to get to know the Blackbells, I can't help but feel disappointed that we're not getting closer to Damien. And Anya's just thinking, Papa, shut up already. And you go, huh? He's like, well, Christ. And you see, was it fucking Watkins? Like, well, if it isn't all my schoolmates from class 3. He's like, hey. He's like, geez, even you came to this thing? He's like, ha ha ha, everyone is welcome at city festivals, Damien, son of Chairman Desmond. And you see his father, like this big hulking looking military guy behind him. Hold on. Sorry. Second. Try not to press buttons on there. He's like, classmates of yours? Like, that's right, Daddy. You have Major Wesley Watkins from the National People's Army Command. Of course, one can never have too much information about military movements, but even with a personal relationship, obtaining that sort of intel would be extremely difficult. The risk that my interest might arouse would be too great. So, but if I were to carefully lay the groundwork in a prudent, respectful fashion, it is possible that one day, and Anya's like, STW, straight to work. It's like, so there would be benefits from being friends with him too? That's Anya thinking that. She goes, hello again, mean grown man who throws balls at kids. He's like, hello again to you, Miss Forger. Please recall that I only do that during dodgeball competitions. Also, I'm the same age as you. And you hear, what? It's like, my whole class is here. And Damien's like, George, right? It's like, what was that long pause before you remembered my name? Seriously! It's like, why, if it isn't the young scion of the Desmond family? Thank you for all the kindness you've shown George during this difficult phase of his life. And you have Dennis Gluman, former CEO of Gluman Pharmaceuticals, before I was bought up by the Desmond Group. It's like, I don't see any useful intel I could gain from him. Not at present, anyway. You see Anya just shocked as she goes like past George on the back. He's like, oh, that's Anya Forger and the other kids from class 3. It's like, huh? Oh, it really is. It's like the Blackbell and Desmond kids, too. It's like, whoa, those are them? It's like, Anya Forger, right? What an honor to meet the hero of the bus hijacking. We're the Smiths. My son is in class 4. It's like, and we're the Johnsons. And Anya's like, hero? It's like, my child owes you his life. I couldn't possibly thank you enough. And Laurie's just freaking out, like, so much potential intel. Parliamentary secretaries, police leadership, central bank executives, and more. It's a connection overload. And Anya's like, and it's all thanks to me. It's like, are you Anya's parents? It's like, what a brave little girl you've raised. It's like, even now, just thinking about what happened sends my heart racing. It's like, me too. I still have nightmares about it. And he's like, these are perfectly normal reactions for parents. If you're experiencing any troubling physical or mental effects from this trauma, please don't hesitate to visit me at the hospital. And he has Gloomy goes, if I may be so bold, are Mr. Desmond's parents not with him today at the festival? And Jeeves is like, my apologies, sir, but I'm merely the young master's attendant and not privy to the details of his father's schedule. He's like, is that so? I had hoped to thank him in person, but I guess... And Lloyd's like, no way would he tell you even if he did know. He's like, indeed, our company owes the Desmonds a great debt as well. Go on, you thank him too. He's like, thank you very much. He's like, and ours too. And he's like, I'll be sure to convey your respects. He's like, wow, Forger, your family sure is popular. Yours too, Damien. He's like, don't group my family in with commoners. He's like, hey, boss man, let's show him who's in charge over there. He's like, the ring toss? Sure, why not? He's like, okay, girls, the rule is whoever loses at the ring toss has to leave the festival grounds. He's like, yeah, get lost. And Jeeves is like, cease this at once, Master Damien. He's like, if that's how you want it, you're on. He's like, hey, you can't just make up rules like that. You don't own this festival. And, who is it? Byron's like, my beautiful daughter's right. She's the star of this festival, not you. And Martha's like, cease this at once, Mr. Blackbell. And Lloyd's like, a most unwelcome development. I stand to lose regardless of who wins. Perhaps there's some way I can engineer a tie. And yeah, what's the guy, big man's, Billy? Was it Billy? This guy, I want to get in on this too. He's like, me too, me too. And his father's like, son, you must fight every battle as if the bridge has been burned behind you. Challenge them knowing that you must withdraw from Eden Academy should you fail. He's like, yes, Daddy. He's like, can we not? I don't need people bringing that level of intensity. And George is like, I'll never risk changing schools. Never. And Becky's like, Master, can you teach me the secrets to claiming victory at the ring toss? And George's like, well, let's see. And Byron's like, Becky, your papa's right here. Why don't you ask me? He's like, man, Forger's mom is actually... I was actually wondering this earlier in the chapter. I'm like, man, why haven't these little kids like having the same kind of crush that Becky's having on Lloyd with Yor? But I guess this answers my question. He's like, didn't we hear that she broken her neck? It's like, Lloyd, are you paying attention? Watch me win this. He's like, Papa's watching you do, sweetie. And Lloyd's like, this is growing tiresome. Again, also a mood. And you see Damon with like a double slash. He's just like double throwing some rings. It's like another secret, masterful secret move, boss man. And Jesus like another. And you see Anya as he tries to fling it, just ends up throwing it into Damien's face. Sorry, give me a second. You did that on purpose, you little... It's like, my hand slipped. Like, you leave Anya alone. She was doing her best. Like, gah. Jeff, and Jesus like, we don't have the privilege of observing our charges at school, so it's quite a relief to get to see them playing with school chums and forging bonds of friendship. It's like, it certainly is. It's like, I never thought I'd see the day when Master Damien could truly be himself around kids other than Ewan and Emil. And Becky's mother's like, I know our Becky's really enjoying her school now too, and that's thanks to Anya. And Lloyd's like, Anya really does seem to have exceeded my expectations in terms of forming strong personal connections at school. It's like, as far as my mission goes, this may even end up paying unexpected. It's like, how I hope that these children are able to remain forever unburdened by the statures and standpoints of their parents and continue seeking out their own happiness of their own accord. It may not be my place to hope for such things, but I cannot help but wish it all the same. And you see Lloyd just looking all thoughtful. It's like, well, my ears are certainly burning. It's like, you can say that again. And Lloyd's like, and yet here I am. And you have a yes, I won from Damien with a woohoo. And Anya's like, no, I lost. It's like, rules are rules. Out with you now. He's like, yeah, exits that way. And you see Anya just starting to tear up. I wasn't able to show Papa I can make friends with Scion Boy. Plan B is over. And he's like, huh? It's like, snurf. It's like, you see? And he's like, irk. And G's like, dear me, how will we handle this, Master Damien? He's like, okay, fine. I'll be nice and let you stay. Just stay back so I don't gotta see you. It's like, that simply won't do, Master Damien. The eyes of a statesman must ever be observing the common folk. And Byron's like, the common folk? It's like, therefore, let us take this opportunity to remain in the company of your school friends. He's like, hey, you don't get to decide that. It's like, did you yourself not arbitrarily create a new rule just moments ago? And he's like, irk. Now he's looking all excited again. And Lloyd's like, now isn't that nice, like, for both of us? And you see, oh, look, Anya, Hall of Clairvoyance, want to go in? It's like, Claire who? And you see a fortune teller, little booth. It's like, they can tell people if people are compatible with their lovers. And you see, like, Damien just, like, spying on this with, like, trying to eavesdrop. It's like, while they're busy in there, perhaps we can relax a spell in that beer garden we just passed. And Yor's like, I'll watch her over Anya if you want to go with them, Lloyd. It's like, thank you, Yor. And Byron's like, okay, Becky, let's go see how... Oh, fucking Christ, man. Let's go see how compatible we are. And you see her wife's grabbing him with like, Martha, please watch over Becky. It's like, of course, Miss Blackbell. And Jeeves is like, will you boys be getting your fortunes told? It's like, no way! It's like, girls sure love that stupid stuff. It's like, there's no way fortunes are accurate. It's totally unscientific. It's like, if it helps to put one's mind at ease, where's the harm in it? And you see, as they head in, you have, oh my gosh, just look at this line from Magical Crowley. They've got to be the most popular fortune teller. And Yor's like, oh dear, they certainly charge a lot for it. And we'd make the others wait. I don't know about this. And Anya's like, let's just do this one instead. He's like, Luna Selena. Looks like she's new. It's like, what? She doesn't even charge. There's no way her predictions are accurate. It's like, oh my gosh, she even wrote it right there. My predictions are way off. Sorry. And you see, rookie. It's like, yeah, but we can buy more festival snacks with the money we save. It's like, that sounds good to me. He's like, oh, Anya, does the way to your everything run through your stomach? Suit yourself, but I think I'll go with this middle-ranked one here. It's like, catch you later. It's like, yep. And you see Yor's like parting the curtain. He's like, excuse me? Miss Selena? It's like, there doesn't seem to be anyone in here. He's like, oh, sorry, you're here for a reading? I'm coming. And you see this woman just like wobbling out the back. It's like teetering back and forth. Hold on, let me get to that page. You're just like teetering back and forth. And as she's about to fall, Yor catches her with a, oh, are you okay, ma'am? It's like, sorry, just a little sleep deprived. Huh? And you see a whip as her little like mask like thing slips. Like, Yor, is that you? And she's like, huh? What? Melinda? And Anya's like, the war of the friendship schemes. Okay, I guess some quick thoughts on this chapter. So I think I'll just talk about the goods and positives. Like, I'm not going to go through like from beginning to end, like talking about. Like, I think the positives were like seeing like all the other parents of like all the other children, like seeing them like bonding with each other, and kind of having like the little callbacks to the past arcs, like the parents like thanking Anya for like, you know, the whole bus rescue thing and everything like that. I feel like it's a good way to kind of like not only do like a little callback, but also kind of establish Anya's bona fides, like how she's building like relationships and like kind of I guess kind of showcasing like how successful Lloyd's Operation Strix is going. So I feel like this is more like justification for him to be like, yeah, you know, the plan is working properly, so he'll keep going. Like, so, you know, the higher ups won't have like any issues with his performance and stuff like that. So that was really adorable. Apart from that, a lot of the comedy I feel in this chapter was like hit and miss. Like Anya doing the whole like, oh, you know, Papa goes straight to work. Papa goes straight to work. It's like, all right, the first time was kind of funny. Like the third time she's repeating the same thing over and over again, it kind of loses its impact a little bit. Same with like Lloyd doing his analysis, being like, oh, you know, let me like analyze what this person is like and everything like that. So it's like the comedy's kind of like, it's getting a little bit stale, and I wish Endo had cut out some of that to kind of focus instead on actually having like a little bit more meaningful interaction between the children or the parents. It's kind of just like minor complaints with the chapter. Apart from that, I know this is like a tropey gag that like every comedy writing person goes to, but you know, fucking Byron being like the obsessed father who's like, oh, you know, no one's good enough for my daughter, like let's check out romantic compatibility stuff, was like bordering too much on the creepy for me to be like, haha, this is funny. It's like, can we just leave this along with like, you know, the sexual pervert character archetype? Like, can we just leave those kinds of things in the past? But yeah, like most of this chapter is kind of like, all right, we're getting through some comedy beats. Like, can we get to some more serious stuff? As much as I did like Jeeves, you know, kind of like spelling out the theme of the chapter where he's like, you know, chill, kids should be able to be kids without having to like worry about like, you know, adult schemes and machinations and things like that. I was like, all right, how many times do we have to get a reminder that like Lloyd is struggling with this whole idea, like, you know, of he, you know, has to like, you know, he has to kind of prioritize the mission, but he's also getting closer to his family. Like, you know, he wants to kind of bond with them more. I wish we'd got more development with regards to that, rather than like having this like reiterated every couple of chapters. It kind of has to be like, oh yeah, I completely forgot that I'm getting closer to my bond with them, and now I'm having like mixed feelings about my mission. Like I feel like there's some kind of different conflicts brought into this rather than a rehash of the same thing. Especially when it kind of just like when you have a character like Jeeves just throwing it out there and be like, all right, do you get the message? Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? So it's kind of like, all right, I know, like, can we like actually get some like concrete stuff? With that said, the end of the chapter thing's definitely by far the most compelling bit, because like I've said for a while, Yor really desperately needs not only some backstory, but you also really need like an arc focused on her again. So I'm kind of hoping that her run-in with Melinda will kind of lead to a little bit more development and stuff for them. But the thought that hit me, because I saw this on a lot of speculation from the last chapter, where a lot of people pointing out that Des Donovan has like these two like surgery marks on the side of his head. So they're all like, there's a lot of speculation about like, oh, is there more subjects of Project Apple? What if Donovan is one of them? Like, what if his son and him have been like undergone the same kind of experimentation? Is that why he has the surgery marks? Things like that. And I'm like, yeah, that is possible, but like this, I think I did theorize that potentially back when we got like the flashback to like younger Donovan, or at least I theorized that he's probably interested in kind of mind reading and that kind of stuff because he wants to, because it was whole thing about like you can't trust people. That's the only way for him to like be like this is the only way I can make sure someone's telling the truth or know who they really are, is to be able to read their mind. But this chapter kind of is making me lean more towards the idea that Melinda might be the one that was actually the subject of the experiments, which might be kind of used to kind of explain away at least part of her bipolar mental shifts. Because I do wonder, because we know like Anya, when she's got like the full moon and her psychic powers going to overload, we know that she gets like overwhelmed with like the intrusive thoughts from like other people and everything. So I wonder if Melinda's kind of like the extreme of that, where it's like, all right, what if someone else had like, intermittent or stronger psychic powers? Is that what caused her to have like a possible mental break that caused kind of the bipolarness, like where she, is able to read, Donovan's thoughts, and she's like kind of like that's what caused the mental break issues? Because you have the gag of like, her being like, oh, my predictions are way off, sorry. I wonder if that's supposed to be a gag to set up the reversal, that no, her predictions or whatever, her fortune telling is actually going to be like scarily accurate, but people just kind of dismiss it because of like how she like presents it or how she like reads it out and things. So there's a lot of interesting potential in there, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, again, I'm really hoping we do get to see some good interaction character stuff between Melinda, Yor, and Anya, Damien. So we'll see what happens with, because something else just occurred to me. Like, I wonder if Damien's gonna kind of just like offhandedly mention that Anya told him she was able to read minds, and that's gonna like set off something for Melinda, of like that's gonna pique her interest. I wonder if that's the direction it's heading. I don't know. Either way, we'll get to see. At least we're probably getting some interesting stuff, and it looks like we're hopefully setting up the next arc. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff from here. So like I mentioned in the beginning, there'll be a lot of good stuff coming out your way this weekend. We've got some Shonen Jump stuff as well as a read-through. Then after this, I'll be on hiatus for a little while, but I'll be back by mid-November, so look forward to that. As always, if you enjoy these videos, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.